Hey there guys, how's it going? My name is Sumit Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy, and I'm a flow state coach, which means that I help you feel better and perform better. Somebody asked me this question today of why am I so spiritual, in the sense of why do I go so deep into spirituality? I wanted to answer that question today. So, first and foremost, I think it's important to state that we are spiritual beings, right? We're energetic beings, we're having a human experience, right? I'm not this meat vessel, right? I'm not. I am energy. You are energy. And I think it's important that everybody gets to their spiritual practice where they experience this non duality and this oneness. And I say oneness because there's a lot of practitioners of spiritual practices that believe in separateness, which is they're trying to separate themselves from the source and to gain power over this living world and be a living God, in a sense. Hey, no hate to them, in a sense. Hate generates more hate, so I have all love to those people who practice, different kinds of spiritual practice. And me saying that is also a paradox, right? Because it's like I'm judging, in a sense, what they're doing, and maybe I don't even know what they're doing, right? Because it's an interpretation of mine. So, anyway, why am I spiritual? I think it started very young for me because I had a lot of near-death experiences, out-of-body experiences, mystical experiences. Now, these experiences are what shaped my understanding of spirituality. And then actually reading different texts and delving into these things got me to be a little bit of an omnist, seeing the truth in all schools of thought. So I'll tell you how my spiritual practice manifests, right? This morning, I had a healing session with somebody, right? And she guided me through a release process where, she basically got me to activate my light body, okay? And it's very powerful. And I sometimes feel like I'm a closet mystic, I have all of these different tools and technologies that I use for my inner world, and sometimes it becomes like trying to juggle two worlds, right? It's like being able to have my foot into the productive realm as well as the philosophical and metaphysical realm. And that's always this kind of balancing act, right? Being able to integrate this 3D physical reality with the world of the infinite, the world of the unseen, the invisible, the inspiration or the in-spirit, right? So if you look up the origin of the word enthusiasm, it means to be inspired or possessed by a god. I used to sort of be like, man, if I'm using this word God, does that make it monotheistic? Does that really make sense for me? But I'm not afraid of that word anymore. It's just a word, and if it ties and scrambles your brain and make you a little bit triggered by that, I completely understand. However, if you look at the word God, good orderly direction, genius on demand. I don't know, I can't think of any other cool ones, but those are the two that I thought of. But if you think of that word, right? Basically, it's a strand of us. But when we start taking away from that, we are the I am, but then there's the big I am, right? The creator. But then there's this creative energy coming through us, and we are creators as well. So creativity is a huge aspect of spirituality and also sensuality as well. I think those three things are interchangeable words in a sense almost. It becomes synonymous in a certain context. So I've been hyper creative as a child, right? I used to publish books, I used to doodle, I used to, do act on stage. I used to play with action figures and create little imaginative stories with my friends. I used to write comic books. Right? I used to do all of it. I was an artist. And an artist is a transmuter. They take the bad and then they make it the good. They take the pain and then they make it into power. So I was doing that my whole life, without even knowing it. I think what truly flung me into the spiritual practice as well as different influences that I've had. So like a few notable key figures, my friends, my parents, right? Like my dad, my father's a Buddhist. He practices meditation. He's taught me how to meditate like properly, you know, as well as just the fact of learning from the Buddhist understanding and the concepts has been really, really helpful. You know, my mom, I wouldn't say she's very spiritual, but she's always had this idea of her own spirituality. You know, I think that she's very inspired by certain things and certain ideas, and deeply into astrology, not in a very, you know, impractical way. I think that she understands it in her own way because it's worked for her. She's a very logical and practical person, right? She's not going to just do astrology because she thinks it's cool. But the fact that she's, you know, met certain individuals in her life that have shaped that, meeting with some astrologers and things like that have shaped her and I've seen that too. You know, I've met with people, I've met with shamans, I've met with astrologers, I've met with Reiki healers. I met with these people who have, let's say, experienced the other realms, okay? And I've experienced that. So I can't take away from my own experience. You know, that would be lying to myself, and that would be lying to you guys. I gotta start opening up a little bit more with my spirituality. I know I'm a bit of a closet mystic. I know that I'm holding back a little bit in certain videos in terms of this stuff, but this stuff is very rich. It's very ingrained. I think there's a process to really unveiling them because I don't want to give people, I don't want to be like a preacher, you know what I mean? I want you guys to understand this from your own lens and in your own world, right? All I can do is just be a facilitator. All I can do is just share my truth and share my understanding of things, and hopefully you get inspired by that or you get enthused by that. All I'm doing is just, you know, being a channel for divine light and just letting whatever needs to come out, okay? Of course, the scientific elements of that is powerful, but why can't I be both? Why can't I be spiritual and scientific? Why can't I be academic, professional, but also, you know, have a primal instinct? You know, it just doesn't make sense. We are fragmented beings, but at the same time, we're integrated beings. We have like a freaking, like, as Napoleon Hill says, like a courtroom, not a courtroom, that's so weird to say, but like a conference room of all these great people in our minds that we get inspired by. Like, I know he had Tesla, you know. Who do I have, man? I probably have, like, you know, Lao Tzu in there. I had a dream about Lao Tzu actually this morning, which was quite. I actually saw Dual Kuo, who's an incarnation of Lao Tzu, and it was like a teenage form of him, which was weird. And he was asking me, "I'm your biggest fan," like, and he was telling me like, "I'm your biggest fan" and stuff like that, right? And then I asked him, "What's your name?" And he said, "Egon." And then later when I woke up, I kind of realized, okay, Egon probably means ego gone. I'm guessing. I'm not too sure what that meant. If you guys have something with that dream, you know, I saw like a classroom, a map, definitely in a weird place. I saw these little prickly things that kept poking my fingers. A lot of weird, strange symbolism in that dream, right? And yeah, I think it's just a sign that great things are coming. The new year is going to be the start of abundance. You know what? The great conjecture that's coming up on the 21st, right? The winter solstice. I believe it is Saturn and Jupiter, right, coming together. So the last time that happened, the Roman Empire fell over. Like, think about that, guys, right? Who knows what's going to happen? We're going to see. All right. Stay prepared, stay safe, stay healthy, stay in the flow zone. Have an amazing day. I hope that you enjoyed this video, a little bit different, but hope you enjoyed it anyway. May the flow be with you and stay legendary. See you guys next time.